like that one, Nick.
Yeah, certainly the best I've seen in a while.
That's right. Always happy at the green, and for me, 160 through the air with this iron is good.
Very nice. Hi, and thanks for tuning in to Explanar Explains. I'm Nick, and I'm here with Luther Blacklock, Master PGA Golf Professional, and also the inventor of the Explanar swing machine that you see here.
Yep.
So we thought we'd take a little bit of time out just to answer some of the questions that we've received over the last couple of weeks or so on the website and on some of our social channels. And one of the most popular questions that we get is about trajectory of shots. And in particular, one viewer has written in to ask, is it altered by ball position or is it altered by wrist hinge and release?
Okay.
I just wondered what you thought about that. It seems to be a popular question, Luke.
It is. Well, thanks for the question. It's nice to have a chance to clarify. Ball position is central. We want the blade of the club between the feet. Now, a lot of you might think that you need the ball back in the stance. Well, yes, that will deal off the club. It will give you a different angle of attack. But that different angle of attack, Nick, will create actually more spin. So although the ball comes out on a low trajectory, it's loaded with spin. So when it lands, it sits or it kicks left. You don't know.
Because previously we've been told that to hit lower shots, you put the ball way back in the stance.
That's right.
To hit it higher, you bring it way forward, right?
Yeah. And to an extent, you can do that, but I wouldn't say it was optimum, all right? So going back, the base of the arc is between the feet, and I would recommend that you get the leading edge of the club dead center, okay? Because if you move the ball back, and I think the word that people use for a low shot is punch, and that's an abrupt sound to me, punch, you know, and it's like a digging image. I want you to be able to play this shot off concrete, you know, or even off a 4-inch tee peg. You're not reliant on squeezing the ball low. You get the ball going low because you're going to use the correct loft on the club. And as you just mentioned, Nick, there is an element of understanding how the wrists work. So the shot I just hit was a bog standard 6-iron, and I had this angle here, and in the backswing, it achieved 90 degrees. So as I made the backswing through the shoulder coil, you can see there is wrist cock of 90. If I take the wrist out, it's a shorter swing. That is wrist cock. All right. Now, to hit a low shot, we need to go down the handle. This is the wrong way of going down the handle because I've lost height and this angle hasn't changed. So, Nick, the correct way to go down the handle is by pulling the club up the sleeve. Can you see that? Okay, I don't drop in height, but this angle has changed dramatically. So you can now see that if I move forward.
And just to confirm, you're going down the handle to reduce wrist action? Yeah,
we've got rid of more than half our wrist cock. So can you see there's an angle here of 40 degrees becoming 90. But when you pull the club up the sleeve, you've got a lot less wrist cock. And the backswing will feel shorter. You can play the shot nice and clean. And as I just said, you should better play this shot off a concrete block. And that's what I imagine. I imagine that I'm off a very tight, hard surface. So here we go. Pull the club up my sleeve, get the blade of the club between the feet. I'm going to go back now with no wrist cock going back and equally no wrist cock going through. So here we go. I call that a fraction heavy, to be honest, but it's proved a point. When you use this technique, the ball goes forward on the first bounce. So let me see if I can hit you a better example than that. Okay, so here's bog standard. Pull the club up my sleeve, walk in to make up the difference. So here we go. No wrist cock going back. And that's the one I wanted. And you can see it'll come up a club shorter, it goes forward on the bounce and runs out. So, Nick, that's the word we need to avoid with regards to low shot. We don't want to punch the ball, we want to take it clean with no wrist hinge.
Yeah, okay, so that's great. So how about showing us the opposite of that?
Okay.
A higher flying shot, Luther, with a bit more wrist action, I'm assuming.
You're absolutely right, Nick. And again, in both these shots, you won't lose accuracy. And people might think now, I'm going to hit a high shot for you, and I'm going to do it by holding the club at the conventional point. But the moment I make my swing, my wrist cock is very, very early. So rather than seeing a blended shoulder and wrist, you're going to see an active wrist cock followed by an active wrist rehinge on the way through. Okay, now as I said, if the wrists are active and creative, both sides of the swing, the ball will go higher, but you'll be just as accurate as normal. So here I go, Nick, bog standard setup, ball position the same. I'm going to cock my wrist very early in the takeaway and work that right hand very early in the downswing. So up we go. And you can see I've brought the trajectory up, got a little bit more height, obviously. Ball falls out of the sky and stops very quickly. Now again, I didn't take a divot, took the ball clean, came out of the bottom groove. So that's quite simple really. When you hit the ball low, you don't use your wrists and you modify that at address. And when you hit a high shot, you soak your wrist in WD-40, you make sure the wrists work early going back and early going through.
Well, Luke, that's a great demonstration. Congratulations, really good demonstration under pressure there.
We should get that framed.
Exactly. And if you want to see a shorter version of this video, head across to our Instagram page where you can see all of this in 60 seconds as well. So if you don't want to listen to the whole 3 minutes, come to Instagram, see an abbreviated version.
Indeed.
Thanks for tuning, everybody, and we'll be back soon.
Okay.